Welcome to my channel. Alright, imagine this opening shot with the new CX-5 rolling into frame. Okay, I've been waiting to talk about this one because if you're a fan of Mazda or honestly just someone who likes SUVs that don't feel boring, the 2026 Mazda CX-5 is finally here. And this thing is way more exciting than I think a lot of people expected. Mazda is calling this a first look, but from what we're seeing so far, this feels like a big turning point for the CX-5. For years, it's been the safe, good-looking, fun-to-drive option in the compact SUV world. Now, Mazda's clearly trying to push it into something that feels almost premium, even a little exotic. And yeah, I know Italian supercar feel sounds wild for a CX-5, but hear me out. Let's start with the design, because that's the first thing that hits you. This new CX-5 looks lower, wider, and way more confident than the outgoing model. The front end is sharper, with slimmer headlights, and a grille that feels more aggressive without screaming for attention. It still looks like Mazda, but it has this sleek, sculpted vibe that honestly wouldn't look out of place parked next to much more expensive SUVs. From the side, the lines are smoother and more muscular at the same time. Mazda has always been good at making cars look like they're moving even when they're standing still, and this takes that idea even further. The wheels are bigger, the stance is sportier, and the whole thing feels planted, like it wants to be driven hard on a twisty road. Around the back, the changes are more subtle, but they work. Thinner taillights, a cleaner tailgate design, and just enough attitude to remind you this isn't some generic grocery getter. It's familiar, but clearly more mature than the old CX-5. Now let's talk about what's under the hood, because this is where things get really interesting. The big news is that the 2026 CX-5 is finally leaning into electrification in a serious way. Mazda is introducing a new hybrid setup aimed at better fuel efficiency without killing the fun. And that's key because Mazda knows their audience cares about how a car feels, not just the numbers on paper. This hybrid system is expected to deliver smoother power, quicker response around town, and better mileage overall. No crazy learning curve, no complicated driving modes you have to mess with. Just get in, drive, and enjoy it. Mazda's whole philosophy here seems to be making electrification feel natural, not forced. And while this isn't meant to be some high-performance monster, the driving feel is still front and center. Steering response, balance, and that connection between you and the road are still a big part of the CX-5's personality. That's where that Italian supercar feel idea sneaks in, not in speed, but in how engaging it feels behind the wheel. For those of you who like getting a little adventurous, Mazda hasn't forgotten about off-road capability either. The 2026 CX-5 keeps its available all-wheel drive system, but it's been refined to handle rougher conditions better. Think gravel roads, snow, mud, and light trails, not hardcore rock crawling, but the kind of stuff real people actually deal with. Ground clearance is expected to be slightly improved, and the traction systems are smarter now, reacting faster when conditions change. Basically, it's still very much an SUV you can trust when the pavement ends, without turning it into something bulky or awkward on the road. Step inside, and this is where the upgrade really becomes obvious. The interior of the new CX-5 feels like Mazda looked at luxury brands and said, yeah, we can do that too. Cleaner design, better materials, and a layout that feels more driver-focused than ever before. The screen is bigger, brighter, and easier to use, but thankfully Mazda hasn't gone fully touchscreen crazy. There are still physical controls where you want them, which makes driving so much less distracting. The digital displays are sharper, the graphics are smoother, and everything just feels more modern. Seats are more supportive and comfortable, especially for long drives. There's more attention to small details, too. Stitching, textures, and trim choices that make the cabin feel upscale without being flashy. Rear seat space and cargo room are improved slightly, making it a better family vehicle without losing that sporty edge. Now let's talk about pricing, because this is where Mazda usually surprises people.
While official numbers may vary by market and trim, the expectation is that the 2026 CX-5 will remain competitively priced. It's likely to cost a bit more than the outgoing model, especially with the new hybrid tech and upgraded interior, but it should still undercut many luxury rivals by a noticeable margin. And that's kind of the whole point. Mazda is offering something that looks and feels premium, drives better than most in its class, and now comes with modern hybrid efficiency, all without pushing into luxury brand pricing territory. When you compare this to past CX-5s, the evolution is clear. The older versions were already good-looking and fun to drive, but this one feels more confident about what it wants to be. It's not trying to please everyone. It's targeting drivers who want something stylish, engaging, and refined without giving up practicality. When compared to competitors, the 2026 CX-5 stands out by focusing on feel rather than just features. While other SUVs chase bigger screens and louder designs, Mazda is betting on balance, design, driving enjoyment, and everyday usability, all working together. So, who is this for? Honestly, it's for people who love driving but still need an SUV. It's for someone who wants efficiency without boredom, style without showing off, and quality without paying luxury prices. If Mazda delivers on what they're promising here, the 2026 CX-5 could easily be one of the most well-rounded compact SUVs on the market. It doesn't try to be the fastest, the biggest, or the flashiest, but it might just be the one you actually enjoy living with every single day. And that's what makes this launch so exciting. Mazda isn't reinventing the CX-5, they're refining it, elevating it, and giving it a personality that feels more special than ever. So, let me know what you think. Is this the CX-5 you've been waiting for? Or are you curious to see how it stacks up once it hits the road? Either way, this is definitely one SUV worth